once you're at the fair, I know it will be an experience that all Americans and all visitors will be proud of and think of for many years.
Many of your contributions have introduced new words to our vocabulary. Your most recent is audio animatronic. I hope I'm pronouncing
That's
that
right. It's, sound, animation through electronics.
We have roamed these United States and literally combed the globe for pavilions and exhibits which will reflect the achievements of all men in industry, culture, the arts, and harmless entertainment.
The 1964-65 New York World's Fair was a reflection of life in the United States in the mid-20th century. Industry was booming. The space race was intensifying. And the middle class was thriving. Millions of Americans were headed to New York City. But they weren't headed just to Manhattan or Times Square. They were also headed to Queens, home of the 1964-65 New York World's Fair.
To those who attended the World's Fair, it was a huge success because it somehow promised a bright, happy, technologically advanced future.
We had Tony Stark going through the Unisphere because it's something that's important to us and it's important culturally.
It wasn't all rose-colored glasses, though. The fair occurred on the brink of cultural change, amid political turmoil, and just as American involvement in Vietnam was beginning to escalate.
You'd see newsreels of what's going on and people fighting, and being 6 at the time, I didn't understand that. It's just, how come everybody's shooting at each other, not knowing that this is the time we're in and the volatility of it. Going to the World's Fair, everybody gathering at the same place, looking at stuff, nobody trying to take your purse, nobody fighting anybody else, just a happy experience. The Beatles sang about love, everything was happy, and why can't we do this every day? There's nothing wrong with doing this every day.
The moment we drove up and we were coming down the highway and we saw the spectacular buildings rising above the horizon as we approached, I was just amazed. Everywhere you looked, especially as a child, everything was so different and so large.
The fair was more than a reflection of what we wanted the world to be. It was a mile-wide time machine.
Laptop computers, radar ranges, things like this. This is just all a bunch of bunk. This is all stuff for science fiction magazines. And I think when you look at it, really, what the '64 World's Fair predicted maybe isn't as far off as what we thought it was at the time.
Going to the fair and actually being able to touch the exhibits and use them, I think was a real eye-opener because there was a lot of really great technology that was on display for the first time.
Walking the fair, you could see color television, video phones, a computer search engine. The amount of technology to take in one day dwarfed today's much-hyped product launches.
The fair sought to celebrate the boundless possibilities of technology and scientific innovations of that era.
There were also visions of future architecture, transportation, and city planning. And it was a cultural melting pot.
It's an opportunity to experience cultures, ethnic food, and various parts of the world that maybe you would never get to see. Where could you go and see the treasures of Egypt, of Pakistan? Spain had some beautiful carvings So you would be able to sample and experience firsthand some of the treasures that you would have to go around the world to experience. You get a chance to see the best that a country had to offer.
Today, 50 years later, the fair and the exhibits from it influence our lives in countless ways, from communications to computers and pop culture to cultural understanding. This is the 1964-65 New York World's Fair.